Good, good. All right. First of all, this is one of those weeks that not a lot of teams are able to play in, and there aren't a lot of teams that are playing this weekend. And it's an honor to be representing the East, and I know our guys are excited to get back to what they experienced last year, and it should be a lot of fun. A good week of focused practice, and we're looking forward to the game. It's a great opportunity for everybody on our team. This is a special occasion, and playing in the 25th anniversary, the two teams that have been in it the most, I think that's pretty fitting, and we're excited to face these guys. Obviously, they're one heck of a ball squad. I think probably the best team that Coach has put together there from a standpoint of offense, defense, and special teams. Their depth is really good, and they're playing at a high level. And that's a credit to what he's been able to do and maintain. But we've got good players too, and I know our guys are excited to go compete. As we talk about, the opportunities that you have as a player, this is one of those opportunities that really you're going to be judged, based on your performance, your effort, the way you go about your business in this week of preparation. And, people are going to look at, how they do against, high level of competition. How they do in an environment that is unlike any other. As I've said before, the one great thing about this game, there aren't necessarily a bunch of corporate tickets. You have two fan bases there that split the stadium, and that's something that is pretty special, and we're looking forward to it. Questions? Oh, injuries. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Jordan Scher will be out, and it's going to be some surgery and that kind of stuff. So I've got to say how proud I am of Martez Ivy to give it an effort last week, and Kavaris had to come in and play quite a bit, obviously, but it just shows his toughness and his want. Where he'll be this week, he'll be limited again, as we move forward. Nick Washington will probably be out again, and that I know he's going to try everything he can to go, but as of right now, he's out. Daniel McMillan, who played, with that shoulder throughout the game and wouldn't pull himself out. That's one of those that has to be a day-to-day evaluation. So Duke Dawson won't practice, at least for a couple days. Hope to get him out there on Wednesday. So the jury's out on that one. And Mod Fullwood, who went out in that game, we're hoping to know more by Wednesday on that one as well. I think that time that we talk, I'll have a complete list as to who's actually going and who isn't. Obviously, these first couple days of practice, some guys are going to, that want to have a chance to go play, have to do a great job mentally to stay involved in the game plan. Cox probably still out, Dillard's still out, Jared Davis still out. But I do know this. One of the things we talked about was whatever you can do to give to your team, even if it's just one play, even if it's the availability and the energy to help the guys that are out there, that's what this is going to take. And, I know these guys are looking forward to that. So Juwan Taylor, the defensive back, is out as well. And so we're getting pretty thin back there, but that's the way it is. They're hurt, man. So You knew you were going to try that, right? I mean, one of them's in an arm sling, so I don't think it's his leg. All right, how's that? All right.
I'll put arm sling in.
Yeah, arm sling. There you go.
You obviously looked at this defense last year and scouting them, and you looked at them this year, and it feels like they've gotten better this year. Can you just talk about how they've improved?
You know, the overall team speed is really what shows up at all spots. You know, they're big in the middle, and yet those guys got great quickness. And, you know, I would say that the thing that stands out really about their whole team is I think they've gotten actually faster. You know, here's one thing that you see, and you talk about their defense. So when you break things down, you go, you know, like third downs, for example, you take a look at 3rd and 11 plus, and 3rd and 7 to 10, 3rd and 4 to 6, 3rd and 2 to 3, and then, you know, 3rd and 1. You know, I've got 86 clips on 3rd and 7 to 10. And couple that with the 3rd and 11 plus, and then how quick you can get through the reel on 3rd and 4 to 6 and 3rd and 2 to 3. What it tells you is you know, the dominance that they're doing on first down, you know, and forcing you into those situations, and then being able to attack you from there. One of the things I see is they're able to get there with a 4-man rush a lot. You know, you know, that good teams are able to do that. And then the other thing, Pat, on that note, again, talking about the video itself, the lack of attempts that people have in the red area, as you break down, you know, the 25 to the 16 and the 15 to the 9 and the 8 to the 3, and then the, you know, the true goal line stuff. What it really shows to me is they're getting off the field and forcing teams not many opportunities. And so, you know, when you talk about the keys, you better take advantage of the opportunities when you have them.
Thomas.
I know it's hectic when you're preparing for games each week, but have you had any chance to look back kind of at how the offense has played out through the season and, you know, seen things that maybe you wish you would have done? Or?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be, and there's going to be a lot of that in the off season. And yet we're in season, and not a lot of teams are right now. So we got to focus on giving our guys a chance this week. We've got to get the ball in playmakers' hands in space and allow them to be able to go make plays. And, you know, that's got to be a focus this week.
What are the challenges in doing that? Because you've said that a couple times this year.
Well, I think the fact that we're going to close practice because we're putting in the wishbone, all right? They're going to touch it. That's what I do know, is the guys that need to touch it are going to touch it. Might be split back veer, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Game plan's out there.
Yeah.
Playing off that, Antonio Callaway seemed to get involved a little bit more. I mean, what's an ideal touch count for him? Because there's some games where he just doesn't seem maybe.
Yeah, you know, I
it.
think one of the things we've got to do is make sure that somewhere in there he's in that, you know, 8 to 12, and you know, with that maybe even more, you know, with the addition of the punt returns. You know, I think, you know, those are all touches that we try to get him. Brandon Powell's got to touch it in space, and you know, Tyree's got to, and we've got to get his get it to list. We've got to increase that.
And the other thing is the offense has shown some nice, nice drives at the beginning of some games.
Yeah.
The other night was one. Tennessee, you guys had them on
Yeah.
the ropes. When is that stuff all scripted, and then maybe when it gets off script, you know, adjustments are made? How's that all
you know,
playing out?
we've got to do a better job of maintaining the art of deception. And, we've got to continue to do that throughout and not become so predictable in some cases when we retake the field, say, after play 18 or 19. So, it's something that we're working on and something we'll do this week as well.
Jimmy, it was after the SEC championship game last year where you said that you were going to get the kicking situation fixed and go find somebody that could kick it over the line and somebody wouldn't block it with their armpit.
I didn't mean to say that. That's horrible. You gotta give me. Come on. I really didn't say that.
You did.
No.
Next day you're
That's the one great thing about you guys is you'll hold me to it. I gotta remember. Sometimes in print, the sarcasm doesn't come across, or the sense of humor, and I've got to learn. That I've got to be a little more.
The armpit did block it.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, good clear block.
But obviously the
In
next
fact, that
day.
would have been a good commercial for one of those deodorant deals, wouldn't it? I mean, you got to think about that.
Scare the ball away.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so you want to talk about Eddie?
Absolutely.
Okay, I like Eddie. So Eddie struggled the other night, though. He didn't swing his leg and kicked to him out of bounds and gave them field position at 35. I think he went and tried to muscle the ball. That's been the problem. But his field goals, I just love how effortless it is, and his ability to get the ball up. Our operation time, and we talk a lot about Eddie, but Johnny Townsend has got great hands and great ball placement as a holder, and let's not forget about Farr in both cases. I mean, he's become a really, really good snapper as far as location, time, revolution in the case of a PAT field goal. It's been really good, and we were talking, in fact, in today's meeting, Georgie Powell is healthy, who was kicking last year, I think, before he got hurt in the LSU game. And he gets his Monday work in, and we've got a couple other guys. I mean, the dentist, has stayed out there. Justino, and not to mention the punters. We actually got a full cupboard there, and
Pretty nice.
we weren't going to be short.
And it seemed like in the game last year, that's when things had kind of came to head for you.
Yeah,
it was just so frustrating. What was it like to go and be able to fix that, like you said you wanted to, and just the relief that it brought you?
No, it's good. Eddie's a lot of fun to be around too, and he's got a team, is really behind and kind of enjoys, and he can keep it pretty loose, at times, and that's not a bad thing.
Robbie, how different is the Alabama offense than the one we've traditionally seen, and how have they done it? What kind of job have they done, kind of building the offense around the quarterback?
No, here's the thing you see. There's a lot of the same base principles. There's more quarterback run, read, option type things, obviously, taking advantage of the unique skills that this guy has. And, they still have the explosive playmakers. They got, some big running backs. The thing this guy does is he brings that 12th man to the game. And here's the thing I enjoy watching him is how calm he is. As a freshman, nothing bothers him, and yet when they need a big play, he's the one who gives it to them. And that's a credit to what they're doing offensively as coaches. They've got pretty good players around them too.
Ryan?
I know it's not a fresh storyline, but what do you recall about just your reaction after Nick Saban reached out to you for that job, and just what that period was like and that transition in your career?
Well, I mean, I hung up on him because I thought it was one of my buddies messing with me. I mean, I didn't even know there was a job at Alabama. I'm glad he called back. I know that. And it obviously has meant a lot to me, and that he, thought enough of what we had done previously to give us an opportunity for that seat. And that's a valued seat right there. And, the one thing he told me when we came in was, they were a little short, on offensive talent this time. And he said, look, just give yourself a little time here because we'll get players. And sure enough, they've done that, and they continue to do it.
And how similar do you feel the way you run the program now is kind of the way he ran it there and what you took from him?
Well, I took a lot, but one of the big things I probably took from him is, no matter how you do it, take the principles and the values, and they're consistent with, blocks of success in whatever you do in life. But the one thing you got to do is he said, you can't do it like I did, or you can't do it like Coach Hill or Coach Smith or Coach Heisel or Coach Zorns, whoever that is. He said, you got to do it like you. And, that really has stuck with me, as far as not being something I'm not, and yet taking the things that you learn about how to be successful and put your own spin on it.
So what's the main difference between the two of you?
I don't know. You have to ask him.
Hey, Jim. You obviously know the expectations here at Florida. And so this is a weird question, but fans have asked me it. Weird
Sure.
question to ask right now, but fans have asked me this, so
Sure.
I'm going to ask you.
I understand.
Given everything, all the injuries and everything that you guys have dealt with this season, no matter what happens Saturday and then in the bowl game, are you going to view this as a successful year?
I'll step back and evaluate it as you do every year. There were some big disappointments and have been already. But I think it's what you learn from those more than it is anything. Hey, look, I knew when I took the job, this is a fan base that at any place that really cares, you're never going to please them all. I get it. One thing I do know is I believe we're in the SEC championship again for the second straight year. Maybe not the way people want it, but ultimately the idea is to figure out how to win a ball game and how to win the East. Now the next step is how to win the whole SEC, right? And that's part of building it. And we're getting there. We're getting a lot of really good things going on as far as commitment to the facilities, to the things you need to do to make, not for me. That's what people don't get. That's not for me. That's for the sustainability of the University of Florida football program and its brand. And, we've been way behind, but we're catching up. And I know that's one thing that's making a lot of people nervous around the country, and that's a good thing. Yeah.
Thomas and then Edgar.
Austin had some success running some of the read option type stuff against South Carolina. How much of, I guess, just the lack of experience depth at quarterback at this point played into maybe not using that a little more?
Yeah, and it's something we actually, had 3 of those last week. They played it the way they're supposed to play it. And but it is kind of an element of surprise that we're going to have to use, this week more from a Wildcat standpoint as well, with him being that kind of guy. There again, to create different shifts, formations, motions, and, to try to get a guy to be out of his gap. These guys are really gap sound in what they do. And when you watch it, do this sometime when you watch them. You hear me talk about communication a lot, and you guys probably just blow it off like whatever. When you see the great teams that have really good team defense, anytime a guy goes in motion, there'll be 7 to 8 guys communicating through some form of hand signal, be it, banjo or lock or, they're going to top hat, whatever it is. And it's what it shows is it shows a group of guys that understand all 11 have to be on the same page. You see us do it a lot more. You know, I really like the way our group is doing it. But that commitment to team excellence is something that coach has really been able to define. And I mean, it's pretty fascinating. Take a look when you go back and watch their games and just see all the communication that goes on whenever there's a shift or a motion, and everybody's on the same page. And that's impressive to see.
Edgar?
What makes Jonathan Allen such a force?
Probably genetics. I mean, the guy. Look, they got a bunch of creatures, and here's the one thing I think that probably helps their creatures play at a high level consistently is they've got a creature behind them, which is competition at positions. They know if they don't, someone will. And that's part of building a program is the competition at position makes practices. You know, you better be on your stuff because there might be another guy that could come in there and take your spot. So that's one thing. That's one thing for sure that they've done it at a lot of spots. But in Jonathan's case, you know, his quickness, body quickness, is something I think that really stands out.
I mean, is he like a Sue type force? I mean,
Well, I hope
I don't know.
Here's what I hope he is after our game, right? But but obviously they're solid in all spots, and yet here, you know, you hear me talk about dynamic playmakers. A lot of times you don't talk about that as at that position. He's one of those, and you've got to be aware because those guys are the ones that change games.
When it looks seemingly on paper like it's a mismatch, your offense versus their motivational, is it challenging? Can guys step up? I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't look at it as a mismatch at all.
Everybody
I mean,
else in the
obviously,
world does,
everybody
probably,
does.
yeah.
I look at it as a great opportunity, and that's part of the chess match. We're whatever you want to say. I mean, I know this. We're playing in this game, and we're going to give ourselves every opportunity to go be successful. I understand your question. Keep telling them that. I'm good with that. I know that our guys will come in with a mindset to go make plays, and I'm excited about that.
and then being an offensive guy, you were brought in to fix the offense. Do you get caught up in wanting to get to the offseason so you can really start tinkering?
Yeah, no,
Does
I
that,
mean, yeah, I mean, it obviously is one of those things that you got to constantly evaluate and get better at. I was also brought in here to get to Atlanta. How many years I've been here? Okay.
About 1,000. You can make it to Hall of Fame like that, I think. Any Hall of Fame.
I could shoot free throws better than Shaq right now, right?
You guys all set?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.